Uh, Last class we have discussed about the panda regarding panda. So many functionalities are there in various way you can do the manipulation if we have the data frame. Data frame also you can create all you can do under the panda. Okay. So some other functionalities I will discuss, and apart from after that I will discuss the different thing related to data science, not is related to panda. Okay, and the next unit I will also discuss some more thing about the panda. Okay, right here. Sorry. Suppose if want to you are creating one data set like mm, here we are creating data set in the list of list way. Okay, so different row we are putting in a different list. Suppose Afghanistan, there was ER, some value and some country we are putting in a different row. So this is a one list, there is a one list. So multiple values we are putting in a different list. We are storing in a one variable. Those lists are passing through the data frame, and where the column name corresponding to Afghanistan 1952, this value and the Asia, the column name will be country, year, population, and continent. Okay, so these values were passing through the argument, column argument. So df equal to pd dot data frame within bracket passing the age list, that variable, and the column name we are passing. In this way we have already discussed how can you create the data frame with the help of the list of list, and you can separately give the column name which can pass through the column argument. So here you can create the data frame. If you execute this one, you can see the data frame like this way: country, year, population, and continent values will be there. Now, how can you do the ascending in the sorting in the ascending way based on some column? Okay, so here suppose the country wise you want to you want to sort based on the ascending order, right? So suppose A, the country which name is A, it will come first, then B, then C, like this way. So how can you do? So df dot short values, that variables is there, short values within bracket by is equal to country. Within third bracket you have to write country. Then when you execute this one, if you not write thing, so it will be come into the ascending order only, the Afghanistan, Australia, Brazil, China, France. So accordingly the country, that column will appear first, accordingly it will be ascending order, A, B, C, F, I, U, and accordingly other values will be shorted. Okay, so this is the if comma after the by is equal to country, if comma, and if you write the ascending order is equal to false, then all will come into the descending order. All will come into the descending order. Okay, if descending order, then you have to write ascending is equal to false. Okay, so here we are putting the we are sorting the descending order with respect to population. Okay, so the by population, then ascending is equal to false. So the population value is more, it will come first, then less, like this way. The less value population will come into the last. So that means if ascending is equal to false to right, then based on the population it will be sorted in the descending order. So this is about the short function for panda. Now I come to the separating. Some more portions, some more functionalities are there under panda. This will I will discuss in the second during discussion of the second unit. Now I come to the one more different topic, that is the data acquisition. What do you mean by the data acquisition? The data acquisition that really used for gathering the information. You gather information from the different source like web API, open data, so the web scraping, like this way. So when you want to do the data science related project, so data science, that it means that you can deal with the data, huge data, uh, and you can do the various analysis with the help of the panda, numpy, this thing. But when you want to do the data science project, either you are industry people, either you college student, you have to collect the main thing, you have to collect the data, how we're collecting based on the applications, you have to collect the data from the different source like web API, open source, data source, and web scraping. Okay, so this is about the data acquisition. After collecting the data maybe will be in the structured way or unstructured way. You have to organize the data before feeding the data in, for training and the testing in the machine learning. Okay, so that means you are gathering the data from different source and you can extract the data from various website and you can organize the data and structure the data for building a proper data set. This you have to do under the data acquisition. So there are the various the web API and web scraping. These are the method for extracting the data from the website, and the web data open data source from the website only we are taking the data, but the not it like web API and web scraping. We can directly download the data. The data will be publicly available. So you can easily download the data will be in the that data you can use for the data set and you can feed the data. So normally it will be in structured format. And web API and the web scraping, the data will be in the unstructured format. You have to structure the data. Okay, so I will discuss one by one what are the this thing web API and the web scraping. Web API means we're using some API for extracting the data from the website, and web scraping we're using some scraping technique from the HTML tag we are getting the data in case of the web scraping. So what are the steps are there? First, you have to identify the source. So you are using the open data source or you are using the web API or you are using some website from that you are parsing the HTML code. This you have to identify based on your application. After that, if you are using the web API, so some authentication key will be there. You have to enable the authentication key for getting the data from that particular website. So the data cleaning, data transformation, that will come after the data extraction. So based on your application, if you are using web API, you have to use some send request and response. So some query will be there. This query will send so that you can get the data in the structure format. And web scraping, if they are, then you have to parse the HTML code. And after getting the data, then you have to go for the data cleaning and the transformation. Data cleaning. So whether we are going to whenever we are going to download the API and web scraping, those data will be in the structure format or it will be in not the unstructured format. If it is not in the structure format, you have to go for the data cleaning and the data transformation. The data cleaning and transformation, what are these things? I'll discuss in the second unit. So for getting the proper format, you need to do the data cleaning and the data transformation. So this is the flow, extracting data, the transforming the data, cleaning the data, then when we are loading in the data into the data set. The stock market, weather information, various price comparison, we can use the web API, web scraping, and the web open source. So open source, so you have some one of the popular website is the Kaggle, and it's similar to Kaggle. There are the various websites. So you can, if you search the topic, based on the topic, you will have the lots of you will get lots of website which and lots of CSV file. You can download the CSV file, which can be used for the data set in the for your application. Suppose you want to predict the you want to predict the some predictive maintenance something, or you want to predict the temperature for a particular area. Okay, so already the data available in the CSV format in the Kaggle, you can use the data for your data analysis. This you can do, right? And this is about the web API. It's publicly available. Anyone can use the open source Kaggle data. Either it is industry or it is in and or it is in the students. For student purpose mainly we used to go for the open data source. It's easily accessible. It is will be the structure format, CSV file also available, and a wide variety of data can get from the web. So open data source. Uh, so if you from with respect to website, if you want to collect the data from the various website, there are the two processes. Also web scraping. One is the web API. Okay, if API is there are the something else which can do using the web scraping which cannot be possible in the web API. So some data extracting, normally the inside data, content related data you want to extract. Okay, so for that web scraping is required. It is not a structure format normally. And API, it is also not a structure format, but API is the simple process as compared to the web scraping. Okay, so where I will use the API mainly, where we are using normal web scraping, this I will discuss now. So web API, that API, application programming interface. Normally you are sending some request, and based on the request, the API will search the content from the database and retrieve the data from the database, and it will send the data to the user through the response. It is the phenomenon is similarly like this way. So when you go for any restaurant, first you will order the, if items are available, first you order the item, the waiter will come, you are going to order the item to the waiter will collect the your list, item list, and it will go to the kitchen, and it will transfer the what are the orders are there. If its orders are if items are available, the chef will transfer the item to the waiter, and the waiter will give to the user. So in this, similar to this phenomena, the API used to work. Okay, so you have to send some request, and API will go to the database. It will collect the data from the database, and it will send the data to the user with the help of the response command. Okay, so this is for the web API. So, web API, the data for that, normally the token or the credential is required if we use the web API. Suppose there's some IoT data is stored in one website on cloud. You want to retrieve the data, those data for data analysis. So, for such kind of application, you can go for the web API. Suppose the weather monitoring systems, one weather API is there. So all the sensor data, the temperature, the pressure sensor data, the gas sensor data, this will be stored into this website, the cloud, and so many variables are there. Just you need to request for those variable. You have to write the code. You have to send the request for those variable, and with the help of the request command, the variable will be come from the database where the all the data is stored, and it will come to the your using the request response command, it will come to your interface, the database. Only I explain how it will work. So it is very useful. It is the structural format, and it can provide the accurate data. The whatever data we are getting, it is very accurate data you can get, and you can get the lots of data. So where main example is that you can use for the weather API for getting the current, the real-time data. Real-time data already storing into the website. At the same time, you can analyze those data with the help of the web API. You can retrieve the data. You can make a one data set, and you can analyze those data using the machine learning. So for this purpose, you can use the web API for retrieving the data from the website in the real time. The web scraping that normally used for sentiment analysis or the news article analysis. So in the website, some news articles are there. You want to retrieve the news article, and based on the news article, you can give some rating for particular news article. So if you want to, your aim is that you want to retrieve the news article, and you want to give some rating for those news article. Or if you go for the website, if the movie review commands are there, you want to retrieve the movie review command, and you can give some rank for movie review command. So it's related to normally text. So when you go the news article website, we have to open the parse the HTML, and based on some selector, you have to go, retrieve the data with the help of the HTML, and it will transfer those HTML data into the your database using the crawling method. So for that, so you have to go for particular HTML. You need to know about the HTML structure. You have to parse the HTML structure using the specific selector. You have to retrieve the data from the HTML, which again this data you can transfer into the suitable CSV file format. So various websites are there. You have to parse the HTML from the website, and the tag will be there. From the different tag, you can get the content, and those content you can store into the database. So normally the sentiment analysis, the content aggregation, market research, you want to compare the various price across the different retailer. For this purpose, you can use the web scraping. So it's not if you write the simple code, it will be you will get the content from the website. It's some libraries are the most of the important library, the Beautiful Soup library, which is widely used for parsing the HTML tag and extracting the data from the HTML. And the Scrapy, Selenium, other tool parse have import IO, scraper. These are the various contents are available under the web scraping tool. So you have to know about the little bit HTML, you have to know about the some library which can be used for the web scraping.